Hey, it's Diana Marchand from dianamarchand.com, and I am here in the kitchen in my scrubby stuff because I was making sauerkraut and I wanted to do this video just to kind of show you what I do. Not that you should follow it exactly, because I always say if you're going to get a really good recipe for sauerkraut, maybe search somebody, Marlies Veneer. I'll put her website below. She does really good fermenting of foods. But, okay, anyways, I also wanted to talk about how it's not that hard. See, the thing is that I always wanted to do fermented foods for a long, long time. And then I thought, oh, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take so long and it's so hard and there's so many steps involved, until I actually did it. And then I realized, oh my God, it's so fast and easy. Now, yes, my first batch turned out really good. My second batch, I had some that didn't turn out that well. But the thing is that I just contacted Marlies and I asked like what went wrong. She kind of told me, so now I know. So it's kind of trial and error, but don't get discouraged if something you try that's new to you that you thought was really hard. Give it a try. If it doesn't turn out perfect, keep trying, keep doing it. Don't give up. And the message here, I'm going to show you how I do this, but it's really that sometimes we think something's going to be so hard, so complicated, but we don't even know. We're making up stories in our head. Have you ever done that? Oh yeah, I bet you have. I know I have. I haven't even started something. I haven't even tried it yet. I've convinced myself and told myself it's just going to be too hard. There's too many steps, on and on. You know, crap, the stuff we tell ourselves. So what I have here is this is a big jar with water in it. I use it as a weight. For what? Here's my plate. I know the video is really in a weird spot. Here is some shredded cabbage and carrots that I mixed together. And then all I did was, once I mixed them together, I added some Himalayan salt. And now what you do is you add enough salt so that when you taste it, it tastes like really salty French fries. That's what Marley says. Really salty French fries or something. So it's got to taste like quite salty. And then you want to squish it. Good terms. Put a plate on top that fits on the bowl like this. And then like here is my weight. And I weighed it down and I let it sit for about 3 hours. I did stir it once in between to see how it's going. There should be some liquid forward. It should be getting kind of a little more watery. And that's because the salt's breaking down them, right? So that's what I did for a few hours. And then I'm just going to put it in my mason jars. Now with these jars, I boiled them, so I sterilized them. I boiled the jars and the lids to sterilize them, so it's sterilized. And the thing that I found works great, this is my Vitamix plunger thing. It works great for packing the sauerkraut really tightly in the jar. And I'm just going to show you a bit of how I do it, not the whole thing, that takes a long time. And so I'm just going to stir this because it's a bit of water that's accumulated. So I'm stirring this up just so that I get even moisture, so it's not soaking wet on the bottom. I don't think it really matters though. But so I'm just putting the cabbage into the jar like this. Now you can use smaller jars and make a whole bunch of little tiny small jars. I'm actually really low on smaller jars. So I'm making one bigger one and then maybe a smaller jar. So then there's just this, and then see how I got it in here. And then I'm just going to pack it really tightly. You don't want a lot of big air pockets in it. And last time it never really turned out. I guess I didn't have enough salt, and I also, the apartment was too hot. So it fermented really fast, and the cabbage got really super soft and mushy. It didn't taste good at all. So I put a little more salt in this time, trial and error. See how this works. And then I just pack it down. So you see I pack it down nice and firmly. And I'm going to fill it, right to about there and pack it down. And then put the lid on it. Now, this is going to have some moisture because it is actually quite wet. Now, what I found last time is when I added a little bit of water on top, because they say you should have a little bit of moisture at the top before you put the jar cap on, I found the jars I added extra water to, they got really mushy. So I'm not going to add any extra water. I think now I have enough salt in this that I'm going to, that it should be fine. And then so you pack it down, like up to about here. You'll see that it's a little damp on top. There's a little bit of water. Tighten it, but not too tight. What happens when you do it in the jar for the whole time, the gases need to release, and so it'll start kind of bubbling and spilling over. And I've kind of loosened a lid one time, like about 4 days into it or 3 days into it, let a bit of that out, and then resealed it and put it in my cupboard again. So I just store these in a cupboard, in my dark cupboard, and that's about it. Whether it's too hot, probably won't work. It's best in a cooler place. But that's me making sauerkraut, so I'm going to finish this. But the message I want to get across is, if there's something in your life you haven't wanted to try because you believe it's going to be too hard, you haven't even started it, you're making up this big whole story in your head, well, what I got to say is, give it a try. It's probably not that hard. It's probably not going to take that long. It's the story you're making up in your head. If you try it, maybe it doesn't turn out so great. Keep going at it. Do not give up. Okay, I packed it. Here it is. I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of water on, I did put a little more salt on it this time, so there's a bit of water on top, that is for sure. Let's see how it turns out, right? I'll let you know. But then I'm just going to put the lid on. And then I'm going to store it in my cupboard, and I like it about 5 days. You can check it before and just put the lid back in and put it back in the cupboard. And join my Facebook community, Women Creating Healthy Lives with Passion and Purpose. See you there. Bye-bye.